Hello, Bells Up Studio. We are here and ready for some cardio together. And this class is going to build on the concept of doing a split jerk. And if that sounds like I'm speaking another language to you or it strikes fear in you, no worries, because we're going to use our sessions to progress into that movement. So the first part of it is today, of course, I'm always going to give you modifications. We're going to go through a short warm up where you will need a moderate to nice bell that you can dead stop clean to march. What else are we gonna do? We're also going to work some floor squats, some reverse lunges. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's coming in the program. It's kind of simple. You've done all of these moves before, I think, most of them. And if you haven't, you're gonna try something new today. So you wanna make sure you have a nice moderate bell, because the whole point of today's class is that we move through these cardio sets, getting our heart rate up, but not completely crushing ourselves. It should not feel like you're running a sprint today. It should feel like a nice, strong paced jog or kind of slow run, if that makes sense. So let's start getting our hips warm, getting our core warm. We're gonna start on the floor with a floor squat. And what is that, you may ask? It is doing the squat position that we would normally do standing, just face down in a horizontal position. So really gonna try to shoot our booties back to our heels. So you're gonna do this by coming into a full plank with me, and then bringing your feet into the position you would normally squat. I want you to bend your knees and just push yourself back so you're kind of hovering over the floor and your booty's going back to your heels. And if you get back there and you're like, this is terrible, bring your knees down and kind of push yourself back into sort of a child's pose situation, and then shoot yourself forward here. So we're really gonna push ourselves back, trying to stay nice and long through our spine as we do this. You can slightly turn your feet out towards the sides a little bit if you're someone that squats with your toes pointed out slightly. We're doing all of the movements in our warm-up one time through for 40 seconds each. Next up, we're gonna have some reverse lunges with some pulses, everybody's favorite here. So go ahead and take one or two more of these floor squats. And if you just put hair oil on your hands like I just did, had to get my pony frizz free for our class today, just watch that you're not sliding around on the floor, because I almost face planted, and you don't want dental work in your first move of the day here. Okay, go ahead, come on up to your feet. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. We're gonna take a reverse lunge with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pulses before coming up. You're going to hover about 2 or 3 inches from the ground and then just pulse for a few inches in place as you do it. As many as you can. Do not worry about if your sides are even while we do this. So let's go ahead and start. We'll take a step back. You're just gonna hover and pulse. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should really feel a big stretch in the back quad. We'll do that again. Push through your front foot. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bet you feel really good in your legs after our last session, right? We'll go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big step up. Let's do, I think we have time for one more. So let's go back and do one more here. So we'll go 1, 2, only doing this one time through, 3, 4, 5, and come on up. Very good. Okay, shake your legs out here. Next up, we're gonna hit a dead stop clean to a march. So when we do the dead stop clean to march, I want you to march each leg and then set the bell down. So if I'm cleaning on the right, I will clean, march, right, left, or some combo of that, set it down, do my dead stop clean again. In your clean, I'm looking for your chest being a little more upright than you want it to be. It should feel a little squatty even though we're hinging. So we'll bring the bell up, march, march, 40 seconds on your first side, 40 seconds on the other side. This can be a nice moderate heavy, so not too light, but not the heaviest thing you've ever cleaned, because we're still warming up. Getting ready to do our hinging and our powerful work in our cardio set. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So I drop my hips down into position, keep my chest up. Remember, my heels can lift. I will march, bringing my knee forward. Bell comes right back down. I'm going to drop, keep my grip loose here. Straight up vertical motion. I can think of lifting up my heels as I do this. So march, march, feet come out to the side. I set my bell down. I will drop again, chest stays up. March, and march, trying to push my feet down as I come up. Finish up your last one here and then take a little break. We're gonna go to your opposite side next. Whole point of this clean is that I let the bell spin around my hand to catch it in the rack position, making sure my grip is nice and loose. Your grip should never be tight until you get to that point where you're catching the bell. It has to spin around your wrist. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Shooting my elbow backwards. So I'm thinking of the elbow grazing my body as I bring the bell up. So I'm here, Breathing out as I find hip extension, as I'm standing. So I want to use that out breath to help lift the bell. So I am coming into position, putting it all together there. Up and up. Bell will come down to the floor. You have just about 10 seconds left. So enough time to give me one more solid clean, one more solid march, and we'll finish up this quick warm up because this whole session today is honestly one of the faster ones. Last session, rest here, 3, 2, and 1, went a little over time by about 10 minutes, but this one is gonna be pretty balanced. So I want you to find something that feels doable for you, for jerks, for a dead stop clean like we just did into a squat. So we'll kind of demo those in our next set. So grab some water, grab a bell that challenges you for those things, and we'll talk about what we're gonna get up to for our cardio set. Okay, friends, let's hit this cardio. It's only 15 minutes long, so I want you to give it all that you have. Advanced people, you know what I'm gonna say. I want you to go heavy and challenging for you for your weights. If you do not kettlebell jerk, you're gonna go back to your push press that we did in the last cardio class. So in the week 1 series in this program, I want you to hit your push presses instead. You can practice jerks, and I'm gonna give you cues for those, but I also want you to be mindful of where you're at today and get a good session out of this because it's short. Your first movement is a dead clean to squat. We're gonna combine that dead clean motion, but when the bell starts to come to the rack, we're gonna drop to the squat. So I actually want you to try to combine the two in one. If you can't quite do that, you're gonna rack it, then you're gonna squat, then you're gonna start over. So we're gonna go 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Each side gets its own interval. After that, kettlebell jerks. We're gonna hit left and right. This is when you're gonna sub for that single side push press. After that, you have alternating split jumps or jump squats. This is what's gonna get us practicing for split jerks. So we're gonna come into our lunge position here. We're gonna bring our hands down and behind us and then try to go up and land. We're gonna switch our side each time. If that is not for you, I still want you to get a little impact today. So you're gonna try a squat jump. Squat position, both feet down, bilateral stance, hands come behind you, all the way up. I'm not jumping my full height because I'm gonna hit my ceiling here, but I want you to think of your arms helping lift you, landing back at the bottom, as many as you can in 30 seconds. You're gonna get that 30 seconds to recover. Go ahead, get your bell out. Should be nice and moderate. I would recommend starting with your comfy snatch weight bell or your comfy overhead press weight bell today. Dead clean to squat, you could possibly have one bell that's a little heavier than what you're gonna do for your jerk or your push press. So have fun with this first round. We only have 3 sets of this, 15 minutes long, so let's get after it. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna clean squat, push stand, bell comes down. Remember, from our first week, I want you to fully finish the movement. You have more than enough time, so you're gonna drop your booty, lift your chest, go into that dead clean drop stand. I want you to make this fast, but I also don't want you to kind of get in this sort of flowy state where the movements aren't separated, where you're kind of jumbling them together. You've got 3, 2, and rest. This should look really crisp, not like you're flailing around like a dead fish. So try to slow yourself down a little, especially those of you that like to make some of this stuff into a race. This does not have to be a race by any means. I want you to take it slow, be mindful here to set your clean up each time. You have more than enough time. You can probably get 6 to 8 reps. Some of you might get a little more than that if you're really cooking today. Okay, here we go. Clock is on in 3, 2, and 1. My advanced people that are going a little heavy for this, you can save a little time by dropping into your hang clean and then taking your squat. This might be the spot for you today because you're not gonna have to put as much time into the clean. You do need to be able to catch and hold yourself up without doing this in that hang clean. So if you're not at that point yet, I don't want you to take the hang clean. I want you to practice a dead clean and slow down a little. You've got 3, 2, and 1. So 30-second kettlebell jerks. We are going to think shoulders and hips in one line, bending the knees forward, pushing through the fronts of the feet. We're gonna dip, drive our hips and dip under, catch the bell, stand. That's all you gotta do for your jerk. It, of course, is a little more complicated when you try to do it, but you wanna think of not shooting your booty back and not squatting. So it's a little dip, our knees are coming forward, but we have to be comfortable here and staying here, straight line. Let's go for it. 3, 2, and 1. Push presses are your mod here. So I'm dipping, drive, dip, stand. Pull the bell down. Dip. It's okay if your heels come off the ground. My weight is not that heavy for me. Again, teaching weight, my friends. And this is a movement that if you go a little too light with this, it might actually be harder for you. So if you feel like the bell is taking you for a ride, 3, 2, and rest. I want you to go up 1 bell and trust yourself. You can also do this one with a dumbbell. This whole class today is dumbbell friendly. I do have to say, if you're gonna use it for the clean to squat, you probably should be doing that hang clean because the dumbbell isn't round like a kettlebell. It's not gonna be as, it's gonna be a little further down to put it on the floor. So you might not wanna go all the way to the ground. So just take that into consideration, but you could do this class with the dumbbell. Okay, jerk, second side, let's go for it. 3, 2, and 1. Feet should be about hip width apart. We don't want them to be too wide in the jerk. We wanna have a nice, stable base as we do this. Another thing here is we don't wanna think of dipping and pressing and then dropping. This is not a push press. So when you get pretty good at these, you're gonna notice a difference between coming under your weight and just raising your arm versus moving that bell up with your lower body and a push of that arm, an actual push. You've got 3, 2, and 1. It's not as intense on your shoulders really in the same way as doing a push press to do a jerk. Okay, next up, alternating split jumps. We have those split jumps. We have the jump squat option. This one might be the thing that's striking fear in you instead of the jerks, but you're gonna be fine. What I want you to do here, if you're doing those split jumps, is imagine when you land, I want you to think of pushing into the floor. So let's try it out. Come into position at the bottom. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna think of kind of catching myself here. You can switch your side. I want this almost to feel like the impact part of a pogo hop. I want you to actually make audible contact with the ground. I want you to push into the floor here. Try to absorb some force in this one when you do it. Arms should be going up. If it's more comfortable for you to start and finish on one side, you can do that. You've got 3, 2, and rest. Squat jumps. I kind of want you to do that too. See if you can actually stick the landing. Make a little impact there in the front of your foot. That's going to help you when we combine that split position later with the motion of the jerk. The reason being is that you have to have a solid surface to drop under. So we have to practice that. We don't want to be light on our feet there. We want to actually rebound from the floor. Okay, dead clean to squat, second round. Let's go for it. 3, 2, and 1. So we're there. We could be here only if we're feeling pretty advanced and maybe we're comfortable moving a little faster. You can move plenty fast with a dead clean. It's just this and then here. So you don't have to get down here, then drop. Practice getting your booty down, popping your chest a little bit, keeping control of your ribs. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Next side coming up. Those of you too that want to make this a longer set, I would say here, this is definitely one you could take up to 30 minutes and be pretty good. I would only recommend that if you're comfortable with these movements, especially because of the impact stuff in the beginning, or sorry, the end interval of this. So you could take this for 6 rounds and expand upon it a little bit, but just be mindful of where you're at and what weight you're using. Here we go, other side. 3, 2, and 1. Little tip here is to clean the bell in the position that you are comfortable squatting. So for you, if you like a little turnout, you can do that in your clean. You just wanna make sure your knees are going to where your toes are. So it's okay to clean a little squatty and then practice that dead clean to squat. It might feel, quite honestly, more comfortable for you if that's where your hip position feels the best. You've got 3, 2, and 1 kettlebell jerks. Round 2, remember your push press is an option here. You can take that push press at any point, even if you tried jerks last time. The next class that we build upon this, we're gonna get to practice both at once. So you're gonna have your time to really feel out the difference between the two. So remember, dip, drive the hips, drop under, catch, and come up. We're trying not to lose our ribs here. Here we go, first side, 3, 2, and 1. So we clean solidly. We dip, drive, get under it, pull it back down. Opposite hand. I like to keep mine tight in a fist, so I'm not swaying my body around when I'm doing these jerks. Also, guys, this movement, you can practice. Sometimes some of these moves that can be a little challenging. We've got 3, 2, and 1, a little time intensive to learn. You just need to put in a few reps here and there. So it could be something that after you complete the warm up, before you go into the actual sets of the day for your workout or your session, whatever it may be, you try a few reps, start building it in. Same thing with the kettlebell snatch. It might not improve very fast if you just practice it sporadically. A few reps every single day or a few reps every other workout can go really far to getting better at the technique of some of this stuff. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Don't think that I have to be the one telling you how to, or to do it in your class. You can sort of take on little bits of it. And of course, in Bells Up Studio classes, I'm definitely opting to, I don't know why I just did a million cleans there. You're just kind of jerking. If you want to take extra cleans and your brain wants you to do that, just listen to it. But I try to progress things as we go, especially when a program starts. You've got 3, 2, and 1, so you can learn them. So again, don't feel alienated if jerks aren't for you quite yet. You're gonna get plenty of time in our programs to work on them and start building them from the ground up. It just takes those reps. Okay, split jumps or split squats. Whew, your move of choice here. If you eventually wanna practice split jerks, highly suggest that you try these. You can switch your leg and hit the landing. You can just try one leg for a few reps and then try the other for a few reps, whatever feels better for you. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. Back leg off the floor. So this would be staying on the same side, maybe 3 here. Then you can switch and hit those 3. So I'm trying to stick, stick, stick. I'm trying to land in the same place every time. Pro tip, you cannot have your feet wider than hip width. Your feet need to be within your hips in that move to find stability. You've got 3, 2, and 1. If you're trying to land with your feet out here, something's gonna pull funny one way. You're gonna be pulled off of your center of gravity. So I want you to really try to keep your legs in kind of a narrow position, almost what you would do for a regular lunge. Okay, we have our final round of our set today. Nice short one today in our class. So when we do this, guys, I want you to really think about getting to that squat point as fast as you can. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the booty. How fast can you get up from the floor? Try to challenge yourself after you've caught it. I know sometimes we want to think about that drop to the catch. Try to challenge yourself to stand up as quick as you can. You've got 3, 2, and 1. That side is completely wrapped. That side is finished. We're going to go ahead and hit your second side because, you know, we're pretty lucky that we get to do this. Sometimes it feels like it sucks, or you're like, when am I gonna have the time to? But the fact that we can just show up and move, a lot of people can. So I'm trying to look at it on the bright side that way. No matter how frustrated you get sometimes, at least you get to be here trying it. Okay, here we go, 3, 2, and 1. So this part, stand up with some authority. Stand up like you mean it. Stand up like you're a Bells Up Studio student and you're at the gym and someone comes up to you and says, do you train with Lacey? Do you do Bells Up Studio? Because your form is so good. That is our calling card. That is like our license to pick up a kettlebell. And believe me, you stand out if you can move quick under weight. You've got 3, 2, and 1, and look confident as you're doing it, which I know you guys are. Jerks or push presses for your final round each side. You have about 20 seconds. I'm gonna take some push presses with my push press crew because I just want to reiterate, one is not better than the other. We're getting a good mix of skills, and you are perfectly perfect where you're at if you're push pressing in this set. Here we go. Clock is on 3, 2, and 1. So why is it a little bit easier on timing? Because it's just a dip and a push. All we have to do is connect those dots. Dip, push. So if you've got this little dip with your knees forward, your shoulders over your hips, you are that close to a jerk because all you have to do is drop under the weight instead of your hips going fully through and the bell coming up. You have enough time to get one more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest for your 30 seconds. Remember again, this should feel like a nice tough jog, maybe getting close to a run. This should not feel like something that is completely knocking you out for the rest of the day. We should feel better after our sessions than when we came in from them. So if you're consistently fried, have no energy, feel like your training sessions are depleting you for the rest of your day, you might have a little too high intensity for where you're at. Okay, here we go. Opposite side, push, press, or jerk. Make sure the bell's right underneath you. Let's pull it to the rack. 3, 2, 1. Pulling it straight down. See if you can land and really grip it up there. Make sure that you have that strong locked out joint. We don't want to have the arm out to the side, a bent arm. We're all the way up, knuckles up to the ceiling, pulling it down, straight up in the air. Eyeballs looking straight ahead. You guys got this for one more rep. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. I know it's cruel to finish on this one. Split squats or jump squats, you guys know what's coming up. And do not skip this last interval. Whatever you do, this is the mental tough interval. This is the one that you probably don't want to do. You're like, it's gonna really matter if I don't do the last set of split jumps because it's on a video. Yes, it does matter. You're gonna remember. And I want you to go all the way to the end and get this work done so you can do split jerks by the end of this program because I know you'll be able to. Here we go. Clock is on 3, 2, and 1. So here's the little switch. Sometimes I find the switch a little bit easier to build that momentum, but you might like how it feels to do that impact on one side. Try to go straight up. Try to push through your front foot as hard as you can. Make the front foot pop into the floor. You guys have this. 10 more seconds. Give me 1 or 2 more. Straight up. Push. Use your arms for 3, 2, and 1. Guys, we did it, and you did not give up on those last jumps. If you're watching this, I'm very happy about that. Okay, so next class, we're gonna slow it down a little bit and go back into our heavier squat sets. We have strict presses, we have single arm swings. It's gonna build, it's gonna change as you go. So make sure that you come prepared. You read the description sections, you're taking your rest, you're eating your protein, you are drinking your water, and you show up to class ready to work. That's all that I ask. Okay, I will see you guys very soon. Remember, get real, get strong, bells up. Bye.